Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is George and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Oshi Season 2, Episode 2. So, what did I think about this week's episode? Honestly, I thought this week's episode was a really fun episode. I thought it was a very stressful episode because a lot of things happened that I was like very uncomfortable with, in the sense that I was like, oh my god, this feels way too real. There's a lot of drama, a lot of tension, and overall I thought it was really good because once again, it really put yourself in that situation where you're thinking to yourself like, man, this feels really realistic. And that's one of the things I really like about Oshinoko and, Akasaka, the creator of Love is War and Oshinoko, which is really always makes these settings very real and very character driven, where it comes to you identify with these characters. And I think that it did a great job at identifying with the mangaka of the series of the Tokyo Blade that we've been talking about in Oshinoko. So I think that this week's episode really did a great job at fleshing out her character. Now, before I go any further with this week's episode, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Oshinoko as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's episode. So this week's episode starts off where we see pretty much, you go a little bit back in time. After the events of last week's episode, they actually go a couple of days prior. And we see that pretty much how the play started, how they started rehearsing, Kana and Aqua showed up, then they meet, Akane, and then they meet Melt, and, Melt was, very crappy at the play before, with another play, but the TV adaptation of an anime or manga, whatever, that Kana was a part of, and, how they, he kind of sucked at acting, but he's like, hey, ever since then, I've been trying really hard, I've been studying my, how to become a better actor, and I'm trying to do my best. So if you guys would be fine, thank you guys for taking the time of your day to work with me. And Melt is very humble. I think I really like that because Melt at the beginning of the series, he was just a pretty face, he a pretty boy that just thought that he could get away with half-willed acting, not giving his all. But now, he's really, shaped into be a very good actor, or a decent actor per se. He's really giving it his all, and the director and everybody, he really seems to notice it, which is, I think, really sweet. But one thing to note is that during this whole meeting, Kana is very jealous about Akane and Aqua. She's just mad dogging them because Akane is talking to Aqua, and even they have a stare down hey, that's my man. And they also, not just that, but it's also in the sense of their acting abilities. They also have rivalry because they're actors, and they're really good actors. They're really good actors at that. So there was always going to be some tension because they're trying to outdo each other. And it was really fun seeing them and kind of just getting mad, oh, she's talking to my man. She's talking to my man. So that was really fun. And even then, somebody in the play acts oh, they're boyfriend and girlfriend, right? It's Melt, I think it was Melt, that one that asked that. It's actually, they're only boyfriend and girlfriend by business standards. There's nothing realistic. It's a little gross how people think because they were talking about how to Akane is gonna play the love interest of the original love interest of Aqua's character in the play, and it's whoa, aren't they dating in real life? And then Akane, that's when she goes into a tantrum, was actually people thinking that actors date in real life because of the characters they play is really awkward, really weird, it's all fiction, don't buy into that, it's all fake, it's all false. And and she's just man, it was funny. I love Kana, best girl. I'm a Kana supporter day one. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna throw in my hat at Kana, all right? Gonna be I stand on business. Stand on business when it comes to Kana, all right? Don't mess around. But what happens is pretty much after that, we catch up back again with the creator of the manga, the Tokyo Blade, the original mangaka, and we see that she went on a meeting with the creator of the TV adaptation manga, whatever, that Kana and Melt worked in the first season. And they're just eating, they're vibing, they're hey, let's go out to eat. And she's oh, you used to be my editor, but now you have a very popular Shonen Jump series, or Shonen series in general, so you're doing really good. Glad to see that you're doing great. She's hey, I heard you're getting an adaptation soon. It's yeah, it's gonna be fun, hopefully. And we see her then go to the bathroom, and my girl brushes her teeth differently than I think most people, because she uses 2 toothbrushes and she's going all in. That was giving me I think, what is it, Monogatari, the memes I've seen of the toothbrush scene. Don't look it up. you can't but just be ill prepared to experience some extreme cringe when you do look at that scene. But it wasn't as bad in this scene, in Oshinoko, like the toothbrushing scene. It was still awkward, very, very awkward. But yeah, it was just weird. Like, she's just a very weird, that thing, that's what the scene was for, just to show that she's a kind of odd character in general. But then we cut back, we're in reality, where we see that pretty much she's like, I want to change the whole play, and everybody's like, in the stage play is like, what the heck, dude, like, you did it last minute, you can't really be doing that. You know, people have been trying really hard to make this happen, but then you find out that she's been, you know, behind the scenes telling people like, hey, I don't like the script, change it up, but you guys never listen. And then one of them told them like, hey, well, wait till you come and see the people acting. Like, maybe once you see a rehearsal, you'll actually enjoy the play for what it is. That does not happen. She still does not care for this play, in the sense of, you know, they're ruining her creation, her babies, you know, they're making her characters act differently than she would have, and she's very outraged. You know, nothing's calming her down. It comes to a point where, you know, she pretty much goes behind the scenes and just like telling the people like, hey, like, I want to change everything. Like, and then the people are like, bro, that's not realistic though, you can't be doing that. And she's like, okay, fine, then I'll just pull out. It's like, I'll pull out of the whole situation. Like, I'll, you know, you guys won't even have my blessing for this play. And then the guy's like signed off on it or whatever, and the guy's like, well, you already like signed your contract. I mean, if you pull out now, you're gonna pay millions of fees. It's like, yeah, that's fine, I don't care, I'm willing to do that. And you're like, no, well, no way, this chick is really invested with her material, and she's really gonna stand on business when it comes to that. Which really I appreciate, you know, because a lot of creators, you know, they fold and they kind of give in, and they're like, well, I'm gonna make a bunch of money, they might massacre my creation, but whatever, I'm gonna, you know, get the bag and dip. But I like that how she stood, you know, in her very proudfully. She was like, no, I'm gonna take over, and I'm gonna change everything like within 2 days. And you're like, what? But what, the script writer, he really tried his best, you know, he tried his hardest. It's like, yeah, but you know, he does not know what to write, he's a terrible writer. She just goes off on him, which is very sad, because you find out that it's not really his fault. It's more like in the business industry, how, you know, they explained it very well. It's like, you know, it doesn't just go strictly to the scriptwriter from the, you know, creator of the original source. It's more like they go to the, you know, the rights people, then they go to the script manager, then they go to the director, then they go to the, you know, the ideas keep passing on and on. So it's a game of telephone. So that's why some things might be missed in translation when it comes to, you know, what the original creator wanted, and that's why some, you know, their vision might be changed up and be completely different by the end of the finished product. But we see is that she's like gonna take over, and pretty much Akane and Aqua and the rest of the crew are like, whoa. And then you even see that the previous scriptwriter, he's like, man, this sucks. Like, he's fine with it, because he's like, in reality, you know, we're disposable, because in the business industry, you know, you write a script, and then if the higher ups don't like your script, they'll just get rid of you in a moment's notice. It still hurts though, and you see him like even, you know, saying how much time he spent writing on this script, how much he cared for the source material, how he read it since publication, but it wasn't good enough, and that really took a toll on him. And you know, he looks very sad by the end of the episode. And we also see like how, you know, Aqua is not really impressed by the stage play, and nobody can even rehearse because they don't know what's going to happen, what the changes are going to be. So we see pretty much how the episode ends, you know, Akane talking to Aqua, and you know, Akane is like, you don't really care for theater, do you? And Aqua's like, nah, it's not I would say I don't care for it, it's just I don't go on my way to like watch plays, because first of all, like, it's kind of, the pacing's terrible, because they got to change the settings all over the time. All over the place, my bad. They gotta keep changing the settings, the pacing's terrible, and everything slows down. Like, he was just like less in his reasons, and then I kind of was like, I'm gonna change your perspective on, you know, stage plays and theater and all that, because I'm gonna take you on a date. And you see like her, she's like, I'm gonna take you a walk around so you can get an idea of the better understanding on the industry as a whole, so you don't just get bored, or you're just gonna dismiss it and think of it as something that it really isn't. Because, you know, for her, that's her passion, you know, that's her strength, that's her bread and butter. So she's trying to, you know, show Aqua what the big benefits are of stage play and what it really means to her, because she's trying to get closer to him, because obviously she likes him, right? But yeah, that's how the episode ended, and I thought it was a really good episode. I thought it really showcased, you know, the whole conflict when it comes to creators and their source material, how they, you know, want to you know, send it off for people to adapt it and butcher it. So I like how that they showcased that in a nutshell, and I like how the creators stood on business, right? But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's episode? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you thought it was alright? What did you guys thought? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Oshinoko, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.